Karen Dendy Smith, you do a lot of communicating for people with their dogs, but you are a cat mama. You are a cat lover. You and two of your compatriots were so kind. You came to the premieres of the New York Dog and Cat Film Festivals. You came all the way from your various homes in other states and were there to answer questions for people, which were mostly with their dogs. I know from the years on Cat Chat on Sirius that once a month I had an animal communicator come on and we broke the phone lines. People were so eager. And one of the things that she never wanted to do, so I'm just curious about yourself
Hmm.
as an animal communicator and intuitive. She didn't want to help look for lost cats. And
Ah,
cats often get lost. I'm not sure the cats think they're lost, but the people think they're lost. Is that something that people come to you asking for information about?
I do help sometimes with lost pets, but it is not my full time. I would not say that it is my first love or thing to do
Yes.
because it's a very intense thing to do. So I take those on a very limited case by case basis
But for the
after I
most
check in with
part,
the animal and see if they really want me to do that with them.
right, because that's how you
Yeah.
guys work. You're all and skilled
Yeah.
in a profession that
Yes.
started out probably much younger in your life as being simply a hypersensitivity to the information that you felt animals were giving you. Is that a fair way of putting it?
I would say yes, that's fair. When we're kids, we all have an intuitive nature that we aren't as disconnected from. And for me, feeling the animals' emotions were pretty natural. I didn't know how to have the two-way conversation back then, but I definitely could
Oh,
feel their
interesting.
emotions and I felt better in their presence. And so I've always known that animals were a good supportive force and that I liked them better than people
Oh,
from
I
when I
think
was little.
a lot of us that way as
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
If you felt that way as a
Hmm.
child, you were better off with the animals than the people. It'd be so harsh.
Yeah.
When you say the two-way conversation, can you explain a little to people? Because I'm hoping that many of the listeners who've
Hmm.
always wanted to either ask their cat something, know something about their cat's past, because so many cats come to us
Yeah.
secondhand, if you will,
Through
or
the distribution network, as we say.
that the cat distribution network, I like that, or cats that have gone over the Rainbow Bridge and they want to know how are they now and how do they feel about their leaving. What do you mean about a two-way conversation so that people can understand?
So by two-way conversation, what I mean is for a lot of us, we have a sense or a knowing of what our cats want. There's sometimes they'll wait for us at the door like a dog. We just will wake up and feel like they're hungry, or we know when they want extra love. That's them sharing, that's us picking up something from them. But what's harder for people sometimes is to realize that you can ask them a question and then receive an answer back.
And you
And that's
people,
what I mean by the two-way conversation.
I watched you communicators, intuitives
Yeah.
do this
Yeah.
because you simply have a communication with the person's pet who was there with them. Because everybody that came to the Pooch and Pussycat party came with a dog. Thank God they didn't come with cats on for the sake of the cats who would not have
I
enjoyed it
know
at
it.
all. But often the work you do, or I would guess almost entirely,
Mhm.
you aren't in the presence of the dog or the cat.
No, we're really, I work on Zoom a lot with people all over the world. And sometimes I get to see the animal on Zoom, sometimes I don't. But what I want to say particularly about cats is that they are there. So with each animal species, there is a higher level consciousness construct that they are all a part of, like we are. And there is a real structural understanding about why cat energy is present on this planet differently from a dog, differently from a llama, differently from an elephant, right? They all
Okay.
have their own reasons, part of the bigger interconnected network about why they're here to raise consciousness on this planet. And cats are very spiritual beings. They're very much tied into the subtleties of things. And to be in the presence of a cat and really be in their presence is to understand the subtleties of life and the subtleties
Wow.
and the richness of how small things really matter. And they are such sponges for those small things that to really communicate with a cat, there is something to really being present and witnessing them and respecting them in a way that's a little bit different than being with a different kind of a species. They each have their own signature.
So
And in
you being in the
between that,
present, so if you're in the presence of a cat, you can communicate better, more deeply, more profoundly.
No, when I say in the presence of, I mean in the spiritual presence, energetic
Ah,
presence of, whether I'm on Zoom or I'm in front of them in the 3D, there is something to that vibration about understanding the difference in the vibrations of different animals when you're in their presence. Wild animals have a whole different vibrational presence. So you have to, for me, I love the cat subtlety. So that's what I have, two cats.
yeah.
They can be so subtle on some levels and then hit you over the head like a hammer on other levels because I've just had enough of you not getting their subtlety.
All seen our cats do that. Since you live with two cats,
Yeah.
do you have an ongoing silent, if you will, conversation with them?
I do. I really have an ongoing energy sharing relationship with them. And
Mhm.
this is what I mean about cats, maybe a little differently than dogs, is there's a spiritual energy sharing medicine that goes on. Dog is about helping you stay grounded and feel loved and their loyalty and that kind of a partnership. With cats, it's about pay attention to your nervous system, human.
Wow.
What I find cats are way more attuned to, is your emotional balance intact? Is your nervous system intact? Are you paying attention to your own spirit the way that you should be? Because they travel. When they sleep, they travel in their spirit. So do some, actually, so do dogs, especially Rhodesian ridgebacks, by the way.
Come on, seriously?
Yeah, they, when they go into these deep sleeps, some animals just, they, we have a roaming spirit, we all do. And so it's like astral projection. The cats are more naturally able to keep tethered to their body and also travel into other planes of
Really?
existence. Yeah.
And you've experienced this, like this is something you're telling me this like it's a known fact, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh my God, really?
Yes.
Roaming
And go
spirit?"
back to the lost pets thing. This is why I want to bring
Yeah,
this up, because
yeah.
cats as lost pets are, for me, harder to track, harder to know if they're in their body or not when they're out in the, when they get out. Because cats notoriously know how to conserve their energy and will go into a more meditative state when they're in hiding or sleeping. And I've talked to a lot of my communicator friends about this. There's, it's harder to tell if a cat is in their body or out of their body
Come on. That's
because
what it's
they can
like
be
for
in,
you guys?
yeah.
Wow. You're having a much richer experience of the universe and of the planet than the rest of us. You're like, is that cat in his body? I don't know. I'll check. Like,
I don't, yeah, and
yeah,
sometimes I'm
these
like, I don't think they are, but they, I feel like they're still tethered, but maybe they're not in their body because I feel like I'm seeing like too broad of a view. And come to find out, the cat shows up 3 weeks later, but they were conserving their energy and they were trapped, were not totally in their body.
whoa. Sort of, could we call that a spiritual or emotional hibernation? To us who would like to understand not in their body conserving energy, I think of a hibernating bear.
Yeah, you could, because when we go into a deep meditative state, I don't know what you call that, alpha, beta, whatever. When you're
Okay.
in that state, your soul, which is much bigger than your body anyway, has more freedom to express itself, to like sense, be more connected back to the universe without our mind clamping us down so much.
Wow. So your experience of life is so much more exciting and profound and huge than everybody else's. We're just going along thinking, I don't know, grilled cheese sounds good for lunch. Or, hey, that cat could have he could have another pouch of wet food. It's fine. Let's give him some more wet food. And
Yeah.
you're thinking the cat is meditating on how your energy system is doing today and to let you know that you need to do a little
Yeah.
sit down with yourself.
Yes. I had a cat. His name was Hockey Puck. He's now in spirit. He's the reason why I do this. But he, think about it, that soul is tethered to a body that has a certain way of operating, right? So cats have a certain way of operating. They like things in balance, emotionally, energetically. They like things in balance. Some of them have individual personalities where they're more outgoing, some are quieter, but they like things in balance. So my cat Hockey Puck, if I was over emoting and not really paying attention to why I was over emoting, but just getting into the drama of the over emotion,
Oh,
he would bite me
cut it out.
because he couldn't take the energy, the electrical energy currents that I was expressing out of myself because I was over dramatically emoting without any grounding or making sense of it. And so he would like bite at me. And I finally realized,
Wow.
oh, he's trying to tell me you're not in balance with your own emotions. You can emote, you can cry, you can even yell, but know why and deal with it.
And that's what you took as a very clear message from Hockey Puck. No two ways about it. It was clear as a bell to you.
It took a couple of months of me working on this with him and talking to other animal communicator friends, and because
Right.
it's hard to understand your own at that deep level
That
sometimes.
I believe that. Yeah.
And so once I really got the message that he was showing me how out of balance I was, and that he was trying to help me get out that extra and deal with myself, and that he didn't like the imbalance, so he was biting me to tell me to cut it out and get back in balance, I started understanding where the over emotion came from, all the way back into my childhood, about how if I wasn't
Isn't that
bleeding or dead, I
something?
got no
Nobody paid
attention.
attention to make it big. Well, you know what
Yeah.
this is like as a kind of an analogy is ESA dogs or
Mm.
dogs who are trained specifically, for example, for veterans, because
Yeah.
that was you saw the dog film festival. There were
Yeah, of
fantastic
course.
films because of salute to service dogs. And
Yeah,
those dogs, when they sense they're trained to pick up, and it's both an odor and physical energy, electricity, like you referred to. They're trained in general, and then specifically to the person that they're paired with,
that's
to
right.
nudge that person, to put their head on that person's lap, to get big dog, put his hands on either side of the neck
Yeah.
of the veteran, some kind of PTSD, and interrupt it. So you're saying
Yeah.
that a cat can function in the same way if you give
100%.
them that option.
Yeah, there are therapy cats out there. And what's
Yeah.
interesting is a lot of people will say, when I'm in a really sad state, my cat wants to sit on my chest and they'll
Wow.
purr. That's because the vibration of their purr, the science has proven the vibration of a cat's purr actually calms our nervous system. So you can listen to a cat purr and it will calm down your anxiety.
Wow.
So when a cat's sitting on your chest, they're trying to heal your heart and calm your nervous system. And the dog's putting the paws on the chest here. Yes, they're putting them on the chest here, but these are the top points of the kidney meridian. And when we are in an anxious state from Chinese medicine, our kidney energy is out of balance. When our kidney energy is depleted or out of balance, it can cause a lot of anxiety and
Wow.
over emotion. So there's no coincidence that cats sit on your chest and that dogs are putting their paws on the tops of your chest to help you re-anchor yourself and calm your anxiety in your heart.
Isn't it interesting how with service dogs, this is talked about as if it's science, which it is, and true and literal and actual and
Yeah,
measurable. But people other than you communicators haven't explained to pet parents
yeah,
that cats can do this and more if we're
100%. Yeah.
open to it. A
Mhm.
cat is getting up on your lap or trying to snuggle in your neck, and you go, "Oh, get off of me."
Right.
You actually need to have a lot more gratitude and respect for it. That cat's actually having a communication with you
Yeah.
and working for you, energetic.
Trying to help you.
Yeah,
Trying to help you. Yes, absolutely.
it's a fantastic topic, animal communication. And where cats are concerned, I do believe that the cat owners that I've interacted with over the years, both on radio and Sirius, which was
Yeah.
radio, satellite radio was different, and just in podcast, cat people are so much more open to
Mhm.
ideas and to uh, try to experiment in different ways how to make a good life for their cat. And now what we're really saying is you can have a reading communication with Karen Dendy Smith, and I'll make sure that you have a link to her work because it's what she does professionally. You can
Mhm.
also have an enhanced relationship with your cat if you
Yeah.
just let it happen. And that's a great message going forward for people that you're
You
not
can learn your
imagining
part.
it.
No, and what it really does is it sets you up for a really profound partnership.
Yes,
It's really beautiful when we can see through their eyes, the world through their eyes.
it's a gift.
It
So
really is. Yeah.
let's all wrap it up with a bow and make sure that we give our cats some fabulous crunchy treat after they've gotten us recentered and rebalanced and
Hmm.
take a deep breath. Karen
Yeah.
Denny Smith, you really are a wonderful conduit for spiritual understanding and knowledge for all of us. And I think cats are the best way to understand it because everybody has these feelings about their cats and they don't know how to articulate it.
Mm.
So it's wonderful that you give us words to understand and appreciate them better. Thank you so much for all of you communicators have been doing, but you in particular for so long. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on too.
And say hi to Hockey Puck next time you chat with him over the Rainbow Bridge. I
I
wish I'd known
absolutely
him.
will.
Okay, take care. We'll
Take
talk again
care.
soon. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.